Is there anything that you could maybe add on top of this? So we've sort of talked about the different dating apps. And maybe a little, even possibly even a bit of the history, how it sort of started off as profiling, and then it went into very more quick numbers game. We looked at sort of the technology that underlies. You have some level of input in, particularly in the earlier systems, it seemed like you had a lot of input and a lot of exposure to the information about how the dating app made decisions or prompted you with opportunities, as opposed to newer apps which are really designed to just get a quick few numbers in and we'll figure it out for you for convenience. And then just looking at the business drivers that may have led from, having those profile apps, trying to have the objective of long-term relationships, and how that may have skewed it into what we see in some of the newer apps, like a Tinder app, where it's, it seems like there's this self-perpetual one-night stand objectives with it. And, it's not necessarily the people that sign on to it that wanting that necessarily. It's that cycle between the system and themselves that have got them there, I guess.
Yeah, in going through it, I think the only thing that I would really want to say is that it's okay as long as it's obvious that is what you want. Like, I'm not here to say what is healthy, what is a good way to be, but if you are looking for that dating experience, that one night experience, then it's fine to have apps that cater towards that. But be blatantly honest about that is what our app is doing, because you're attracting these other people that are thinking that it's aimed to do something else when it's not, and that is having a negative effect, or possibly in my case it's having a negative effect, but I can't speak for others, but I assume also for other people it's having that negative effect. So again, as long as you're being honest and transparent, you can have that. But that's my main concern, I guess, is that it's not highlighted that that's actually what these things are driving towards.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. I think that's actually a really good point, is that, whatever your preference is, as long as the app is being authentic, presented authentically to you what its objectives are, then at least it's up to you. It's your responsibility to make your choice. Whereas maybe some of the newer apps where they unfortunately might promote short-term relationships, there might be selling a dream of that you can find your true love through this avenue, and yet their objectives probably could be going against that. And so if the app turned around, so something like Tinder, I don't know how it's promoted, but I'm thinking if Tinder was promoted that it is like, okay, it's the one night stand app, which I think is informally how it's being understood, but maybe not formally presented that way, then that would be okay, because people could understand. They wouldn't waste their time or waste their energy in some kind of app that didn't really work for them. And maybe it would have helped you in the long run. Like, this is the one night stand app, so it's not really what I'm after, so I'll stick to these. Whereas you sort of maybe had to go through and figure this out yourself because of false pretenses.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even like you said, informally it is known, like these type of swipe things are known as the dating app, the hookup apps. And I knew that at the time as well, but I'm like, I'll still give it a try, because they weren't pushing it as that. Like, these apps aren't pushing it as that. So yeah, I think you're 100% spot on there.